I raised my stepson for 20 years like my own. Now he's getting married and says I'm not even invited to the wedding. Posted by you/afraid_mammoth_5574. Throwaway, shortened for character count. For context, I have been married to my husband for just over 20 years. We started dating when my stepkids were 5 and 3. Our kids are Adam, 28M, stepkid number 1, Ben, 26M, stepkid number 2, Charles, 20M, David, 17M, and Ellie, 13F. Adam is getting married at the end of summer to his fiancée, Alice, 27F. We have all been very excited for them. All of the kids have roles in the wedding. Charles is the best man, the other 2 boys are groomsmen, and Ellie is a junior bridesmaid. Last weekend, we had a dinner for my husband's birthday. All of the kids attended, along with Alice. The topic of the wedding came up again, and this is where it started to go downhill. Ellie brought up that she was really excited to go dress shopping and that we planned to go to a bigger city in a few weeks to get her a dress and me a stepmom of the groom dress. At that, Alice looked at Adam sideways and responded that we only needed to worry about one dress, Ellie's. Ellie kind of laughed and said, "What are you expecting Mom to wear, a suit?" Alice responded with, "Op isn't going. You know we are keeping our guest list very limited to only family and a few close friends." That was heartbreaking to hear. Just so you're aware, Adam and Alice have been to our house numerous times for holidays, dinners, just to say hi since they've been engaged, and this has never been brought up. Pretty quickly, things escalated. The Cliff Notes version is that Charles asked them to clarify if they were choosing to uninvite me now or if I was never invited. Alice confirmed the latter. When asked why, Adam said it's because I'm not his mom. Charles, David, and Ellie argued with Adam and Alice that none of them were going to go if I wasn't invited. That it was cruel to leave me out, given I've been his parent for the majority of his life and loved him like my own. My husband and I admittedly sat there for a minute, just shocked. Adam finally turned to my husband and said, "Well?" My husband told him he wouldn't be going either. Adam then turned to me and asked if I was really going to let everyone ruin his wedding on my behalf. I just laughed. I don't know what came over me, but the entire thing was just so ridiculous that laughing was the only thing I could get out. I told my husband I'd be waiting in the car and left. And then promptly bawled my eyes out. Anyways, Charles, David, and Ellie are not talking to Adam. Adam called my husband yesterday to try and smooth things over. He was still adamant I'm not invited and that it's their wedding. He also requested I apologize for laughing at him. My husband told him, "Tough crap. It's their wedding and they can invite whoever they want, but they can't control who will actually go." He said they owe me an apology and that Adam should be ashamed of himself. I'm getting texts now asking WTF I did and why I'm being a stepmonster and ruining the wedding. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. I feel like there's a lot missing here. You've been married to his dad since he was 8. That includes years of elementary, middle, high school, and college, 20 years. Is his mother living? Did his fiancée influence him? It just seems odd to not invite his dad's wife of 20 years and to call her not family. I don't think you're the jerk, but I just want to know more about the past 20 years. Op's response. I'm sorry, I had to cut out a lot for the character count to post. When Adam called, my husband did ask him if I had done anything, if it was related to Biomom, she has never gotten along with us, or if I had overstepped in any way. Adam says no, it's just that they want family only. Stepdad is invited as far as we know. I was a stay-at-home mom for most of my stepkids' childhood, and we had 50-50 custody. My husband has always worked a lot but has been as involved as possible. The house and child-rearing mostly fell to me, though. I love our kids to pieces. I thought we had made it clear from the beginning that was another parent who loves them, not a replacement mom. We've never had any issues, and I thought up until now that we were particularly close. Our communication has slowed since he met Alice, but he was calling me about once or twice a week prior to this. Alice and I have gone shopping on occasion, gotten lunch. I even went with her to the florist for the wedding because her mom wasn't available and Adam got called into work. There has to be something or someone causing an issue, and my husband and I are baffled. Commenter 2. Is his mom invited? Op's response. Yes, as far as we've heard, stepdad is also invited. We, my husband and I, have never gotten along with Biomom but still play nice, as we still have 50-50 custody of younger stepson, Ben. Adam and his mom had a falling out a few years ago, as she was starting to treat him the way she's always treated my husband and me, that is, poorly. I don't know how to nicely explain it other than to say she's a narcissist. Adam hasn't wanted to talk about it much, and we won't push it. I know they still talk and visit, but how close they are, I have no idea. Custody of Ben at 26. Yes, he is disabled. He can choose where he stays as he likes but mostly sticks to a 50-50 schedule unless there is a family event or vacation. He is pretty independent but not able to live on his own. Guardianship is probably a better word for what we have now instead of custody. Commenter 3. How did Ben react to this? At this point, I probably would not go to the wedding and would block him and his fiancée. They would have to grovel in order for me to go. They made it clear they don't see you as family, so you don't need to do anything for them going forward. Ops response. Ben was very upset and confused. He is autistic, so what exactly the argument is about doesn't quite click, but he's mostly upset that Adam says I'm not their parent and that his siblings are all fighting. We've sat him down since and explained that I love him dearly and will never go anywhere, that all of us love Adam and are just hurt, and that he himself can choose whether or not to go to the wedding. He doesn't have to choose sides, and we will still love him if he goes. Honestly, he probably will. He loves cake and dancing. He seems to be doing just fine since. He hasn't asked about Adam but will go to his mom's tomorrow and probably see him there. More on everyone's relationship. It was hard to include every bit of context in the post because of the character limit, but I quit my job when Charles was 6 months old, Adam would have been 8, almost 9. No affair. I met my husband when he'd been divorced for over a year and bio mom was engaged to someone else. If you ask their bio mom, she'll say I've always overstepped. If you ask her how, she'll give examples like, I went to school events, so did stepdad, I helped with homework, I spent too much time with them. She would thank me for loving her kids so much and then turn around and berate my husband for me loving kids that aren't hers too much. Another example is that in the beginning, she wanted to communicate with me directly more, said she loved the communication and that I was easier to deal with than my husband. Next argument with my husband, she brought up that I was weird and too involved and that she shouldn't have to talk to me whatsoever. I haven't talked to her since. Periodically, she has brought up that I was easier to talk to and doesn't understand why communication just has to go through my husband. After several years of trying to appease her, we quit and just focused on keeping our family happy and supported. It's been 23 years now of dealing with her. I've been to therapy multiple times to resolve whatever issues she says I have. It did help with strategies to deal with her. Truly, it's just that she has mental issues. Their dad did work a lot, he has always been on nights. It's changed slightly over the years, but we had the stepkids Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and every other Monday. His days off have always fallen over those days so he could spend the maximum amount of time with them, but usually he worked 1 to 2 of those nights. Very rarely would he work OT on days we had my stepkids, usually on days we didn't. We still currently try to do dates on days when Ben is not with us. I hope that makes sense and clears up some questions for you. Commenter 4. Assuming you and Adam have gotten along fine until now, it's absolutely wild that they wouldn't invite you. Only family and a few close friends when a step-parent literally counts as family, and the nerve to accuse you of ruining his wedding. I don't blame you for laughing. Ops response. It's probably also relevant that my husband's parents are long since deceased. My parents, dad, stepmom, and mom, have been very involved with all of the kids since they were little. They are also not going, since if I'm not family, they aren't either. My brother and sister-in-law, their daughter, my cousin, they call him uncle, and several of my other family members who have been around since the stepkids, little have also dropped out. They're up to about 20 people who have rescinded their yes RSVPs, for a wedding of maybe 60 people. Commenter 4. Wait, hold up, your family was invited but not you? Then what the hell did Adam expect when it came out you're not invited? Ops response. That's my family's take, why are they invited but I'm not? They aren't related to my stepkids by blood either, but are apparently family? To be fair, my family is larger than my husband's, stepdad's, and bio mom's. My stepkids were the first grandkids on my side, they weren't with bio mom and dad's families, and were absolutely spoiled rotten growing up. Charles is now supposed to meet Adam for coffee over the weekend. I've warned him that, truly, I don't think this is coming from Adam, and to try to stay calm about it. Update 5 days later. Thank you to everyone who responded to my post. Most of you were kind and offered good advice. I appreciate it. Before I give an update, I just want to answer a few frequently asked questions. I am not an affair partner. My husband did not cheat on his ex-wife with me, we met about a year after they divorced. She was already engaged, not to the current stepdad, not that that really matters. Ben was at the dinner. He is autistic. I went into it more in some of my comments, but he was very upset. He doesn't understand what the argument was exactly about, but he was mostly upset at Adam for saying I'm not their parent, and then at all the siblings for fighting with each other. Anyway, the update. The short version is, If you guessed it was related to Biomom, you were correct. I didn't want this to be the case. Adam rescheduled with Charles for Monday, citing Easter weekend. Fair enough. He also texted my husband to let him know that he and Alice would be doing Easter with her parents. We expected that. At some point on Sunday, Ellie texted Alice. I'm not sure what exactly was said, but it prompted Alice to spill everything that was going on with her parents. I have met them a few times, but they live a few hours away. They encouraged her and Adam to reach out to us to clear everything up. Monday, we dropped Ben off at Biomom's. He stayed an extra night for Easter fun. A few hours later, she began to blow up my husband's phone, as Ben mentioned the fight. My husband answered one call in which she was screaming and promptly hung up. He texted her that the siblings argued, everything is fine, and that if Ben has any further questions, we will talk about it when he's back with us. From some of the things she texted, we knew she was the root of all of this. Monday, Adam also met up with Charles, and he did come clean. Charles texted us to see if it was okay if they came over after, and we said yes. I'm not going to lie, Adam looked a mess. He immediately began crying and apologizing. The short and sweet is that he's been trying to mend bridges with Biomom. Their wedding isn't 60 people, it's blown up to about double that, and they have been struggling to figure out how to pay for it. At one of their visits, Alice let it slip, and Biomom jumped in to help pay for things. It slowly snowballed from there, from small requests to big requests. I am not sure what the final nail in the coffin was, but it ended with Biomom requesting I not be there. Adam said it was easier to hurt me than risk a major fallout with his mom. Alice's parents were less than pleased to find out how they've been handling the wedding and budget, and even less so about Biomom's antics. They are trying to figure out how to start covering the payments Biomom has made. We've decided to help some with this. Adam also asked if we could meet again in a few days with Alice, and we said yes. There is still a lot of ground to cover for this to be close to mended. I'm still hurt, but mostly, I'm angry on behalf of my oldest son. Second update 1 month 2 weeks later. It's been a while, but I have an update. Editor's note, Op recapped her post here, but I'm fast forwarding to the new information. So, about a week after that, Adam and Alice came over for another conversation. My husband and I read through all of your comments and already had a game plan. We explained that while we love them to bits and forgive them, this is still a big screw up, and they need to hold themselves accountable for 1, the mess with Biomom, and 2, how they treated me, the dinner, as well as the months they allowed his ex-wife to talk badly about me to them. We would not be bailing them out financially for this. I haven't pried into too many details, but Adam had a talk with his mom. She was calm and agreed to everything he said, suspicious. Mostly, they will not exclude me from future events or tolerate any unkind words about me moving forward. He and Alice canceled their wedding. They got back a good portion of their money, mostly to pay back Biomom. When he tried to drop off a check to her, she absolutely lost it. Adam hasn't wanted to talk much about the things that were said, but he has told us they are currently no contact. I won't say the exact date, but Adam and Alice asked us all to meet for dinner. We got there and Alice's parents/siblings were there too. It wasn't just dinner, they eloped. We got to go to the courthouse with them and then celebrate with them after. They seemed so happy. 3 days later, my husband was at work and I was coming home from errands when I got a very panicked call from Ellie. Ex-wife was outside, pounding on our door and screaming her head off. I gave Ellie instructions and then called 911. I then called my husband. When I got there, ex-wife was already detained. She hadn't broken in but had damaged the outside of our door and the siding surrounding it. And she was still screaming. The stuff she was saying was absolutely vile and most of the reason I haven't wanted to update. It was everything from I hate you and it's your fault Adam won't talk to me, to stealing my kids from me won't replace the ones you lost. After that comment, I tuned out the rest until she was placed in the back of a cop car. It's important context that we've had several miscarriages, one of which I know the ex-wife knew about. What I really think she was getting at is the baby we had between David and Ellie, who was full term and stillborn. I still don't understand how anyone could say something so awful and carry so much hate. Putting it out there is hard, and honestly, I don't have much comment on it other than that I'm lucky to have the husband I do. Some of the charges we declined to pursue, some the PD will be pursuing regardless of whether we ask them to or not. She is already bailed out, but our restraining order has been granted pending a court date with the judge. From the bits and pieces we hear, ex-wife's family has put her on lockdown. Her brother works for the department that arrested her, so this has been quite the talk of the town. We have not heard from her since, and her mother has told my husband we absolutely won't be hearing from her or having any other issues. We've been doing exchanges for Ben with his stepdad. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. That was a painful yet relieving update. At least the ex-wife got the tables turned on her, all her malicious schemes got exposed and fired back at her with full throttle. You should keep an eye on Adam and his wife, definitely forgive but never forget. I didn't like their attitude or how they participated in this mess. They allowed his mom to stoop this low, enabling her to go further in damaging the two families. Congratulations on the courthouse marriage, but I genuinely think it was an unnecessary blow to the mom. While I sincerely believe that you and your husband didn't plan this, and it was Adam and Alice's way of punishing her, it was excessive in my opinion. And for him to cut his mom out of his marriage is somehow a red flag in handling relationship problems. You all will need time to heal from this mess, especially the ex-wife. She lost her chance to attend her son's marriage. We can be petty and smile, but I really feel sorry for the outcome. She reaped what she sowed. Wishing you and your family a speedy recovery from all these events. Commenter 2. There is so much still left unanswered on this one. There is obviously quite a bit of backstory regarding the bio-mom, but it seems Op doesn't want to discuss it. None of this explains why the eldest child wanted to reconnect in the first place, nor does it excuse how they could tolerate this level of vitriol against Op. I get the feeling that she's trying to rug sweep the whole circumstance because it's less damaging emotionally, but I think it's too late and the damage has been done. Commenter 3. No, Redditors, there's no missing reasons. Some people are okay with taking for granted those they know, or think, will always be there for them. So Adam and Alice choosing to side with bio-mom for a dream wedding, while hoping to get forgiven by Op and her family later, and hoping the rest of the family won't rock the boat enough to ruin their plans, is not some big conspiracy. A lot of people are incredibly short-sighted and greedy. Adam and Alice just happen to be two of those people. Mix in a mentally unstable / potentially narcissistic mother who hates that her kids might love Op more than her, or just hates that they love her at all, plus a son who still wants his bio-mom's approval, and you get the above mess. The couple sucks, and they're pathetic, and they're lucky that Op is as forgiving as she is. But no, just because the son was raised with love and kindness from Op doesn't mean he was necessarily always going to do right by her. A lot of kids, be they biological, adopted, or step, can and have betrayed their main caregivers for their own benefit, even when those caregivers were good to them. It's just how some humans are, greedy and self-absorbed. Editor's note. Op titled her last update with final update, so I don't think she intends to post any more about this situation. But you never know.